What's going on, guys? Greek Freak here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Eagles being interested in Von Miller, proposing a possible trade between them and the Broncos. Now, I haven't been on here lately as far as making videos, but I will be back consistently towards the end of October. That definitely will be the time that I'll be making videos more on a regular. But let's get back into this video as far as how it's going to go down. Now, as far as Von Miller and the Broncos, we obviously know as of the making of this video, the Broncos are now, of course, 0 wins going into this. And despite that, we know the fact of where the Eagles are. They are a team that is struggling on their own end. Now, of course, a player like Von Miller, when you see his career stats right here, of course, with 100 career sacks, 26 forced fumbles, 466 tackles, and 127 of those being for a loss. So whenever you think of something like this, it's something that the Eagles really do need. Now, I don't think many people notice how bad the Eagles defense is this year, especially considering what has happened of them of late. Now, of course, we know the fact that the Eagles just a few years ago winning the Super Bowl, and one of the things that of course helped them was their defense. Now, as that, they are now one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and I don't know if people really do notice this for right now, but very much not doing good, with being the 29th worst team as far as points allowed per game and 32nd in sacks, only having 4 all season long. So we have people who and players that have more sacks than the entire Eagles defense at this point. So definitely adding somebody like Von Miller would increase your chances as far as that, adding another person that can go after the quarterback and somebody that's just a great all-around defensive player whenever it comes down to it. So adding another player to that defense is something that I definitely can see why the Eagles would be trying to look for a trade like this. And of course, for the Broncos, we know why they would possibly look at moving away from Von Miller, and that's just the fact of their hole that they've been having for a long time and at that quarterback position. So whenever we think about what they maybe try to get out of this, of course, in the NFL, we don't know what type of trade offers are going to be given and what will be accepted, as there's just such a wide range of possibilities usually. Now, of course, we're going to have to expect the fact that some picks are going to be needed to go, and probably some early picks, considering the fact that it's Von Miller, one of the better defensive players in the league. And then you have somebody, of course, in the Broncos who probably want to start looking for that next quarterback, as they're just seeing the fact that it's not really working out now. Of course, their thoughts with the Broncos defense of the past was the fact that you just needed a good enough quarterback, considering how poorly that Peyton Manning played that year at Brock Osweiler halfway through it. So whenever you think of something like that, obviously that strategy did not work well. They should have really tried to hone after that next quarterback and really try to make that move, considering the fact they had that defense at that time. But it's really looking like their defense isn't at that level, despite the fact that they're not one of the completely worst defenses. They still are a team that's not as great defensively as what they were that Super Bowl winning year. And whenever you think about it, you do need a quarterback in today's day and age, especially with what we're seeing as far as these young quarterbacks coming out. We're definitely seeing a different effect from what we used to see with quarterbacks that used to take a couple years to get ready. Now we're seeing players that can come out into the league and almost make an instant impact. I think the fact that that's something that the Broncos are going to try to look at. They're going to try to look at maybe making a move for some of their players, trying to bolster up their team for the future. But of course, as always, what is your guys' thoughts when it comes to this direct trade rumor? So do you think the fact that Von Miller to the Eagles makes sense? And if so, do you think the fact that this will happen? And if not, what team do you think that will be in the trades? Or do you think the fact that the Broncos are going to keep and hold on to Von Miller at this point? I think the fact that, as anything in the NFL, it's very hard to predict trades as it is in the NBA. I think it's a lot more easier to find out. But guys, tell me what your guys' thoughts are on that. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you guys leave a like and subscribe to become part of the Greek Army today. And as always, this is Sparta.